All right, just a few minutes here to take a walk through the syllabus for the class. This document you can find, it has its own link up at the top left on the course Blackboard site under syllabus. And this is what you'll see when you open that up. Here's my name. I'm not going to have regular office hours for my online classes this semester. I will be in for my in-person classes Monday and Wednesdays, 9 to 11 a.m. and also on Fridays from 9 to 11 a.m. But if you want to meet and stop by, and talk about a paper or anything, if you're around, if you're taking some in-person classes, I'd love to meet you in person. Come on by. I'm on the third floor of RJF Hall, Raleigh J. Finkelstein Hall. It used to be called the main building, Office 351. I'm back in the language and thought suite. Best way to get in touch with me is using my GRCC email. Just note the spelling of Jeffrey. Sometimes other Jeffreys spell it Jeff E-R-Y. I don't know why they would ever do that. I am R-E-Y. If you flip the R and the E, of course, it won't reach me. Or you can give me a call in my office as well. Just walking through course descriptions and objectives. I cover this stuff in other PowerPoints, so I'm not going to go through it now. I talked about the assigned course text in the orientation video. Just some about the nuts and bolts of the class. So the class is worth a total of 1,000 possible points, evenly distributed amongst in 200 point chunks here. So your attendance and participation worth a possible 200. The way I grade attendance in a asynchronous course, like I said in the previous video, I won't be asking you to show up online or in Zoom or whatever at any particular time. So I grade your attendance and your participation based on are you getting in the work on time? Are you completing a week's folders work by the end of that week? And that's how I will ultimately kind of award you points at the end of the semester. There'll be reading quizzes and pretty much everything I ask you to read. I'll say more about that in just a second. There'll be 2 formal tests in the class, a midterm and a final exam. Those will both be, again, they won't be timed. They will be a choice of take-home essays, and that will be perfectly clear. I'll give you kind of the assignment. I'll give you the questions during one particular week, and you will have till the end of that week to turn them in. For the midterm and the final exam too, you'll have time during the exam week to get these questions and then turn them in. And so you'll upload them, and you'll type them out as Word documents, and you'll upload them to a link that I'll give you in Blackboard. There will be one formal essay or course paper in the class. So rather than overwhelm you with detail on that now, I'll wait for that. A link will pop up about a third of the way through the course, kind of outlining this particular assignment. You can find the information, you can find the prompt on the Blackboard site if you want to get a jump on these things, but I will formally introduce it to you via a video like this later on in the course. But this will be due at the very end of the class, so nothing to really worry about right now. I grade on a fairly straight scale. I mentioned this just because I've heard from students that they've had a lot of professors that like a straight A is like a 93% and above, up to 100%. My grading scale is a little bit more stringent than that. For me, you'll find 95 to 100 is a straight A. 90 to 94 is an A minus, and then on down the line. So as I understand it, my grading scale is a little bit more demanding than perhaps other professors that you've had, but I don't think that you'll find me a particular kind of harsh, combing through the footnotes kind of grader. But I do think that a straight A should be a reward for work that is above and beyond. I talked about the attendance policy, the reading quizzes. So you'll find these early on, the first folder of work. And so I'll ask you to do a reading assignment, and then once you've done that, you'll open up the quiz. And so these are timed. And so I usually so a lot of the quizzes are 10 questions, and usually I'll give you 15 minutes to take that quiz. And these are, again, I'm not out to trick you. These are mostly kind of multiple choice, so maybe a handful of true and false questions that are just basically to keep you honest about the readings, testing basic comprehension of the readings I'm asking you to do. So again, I'm not looking at obscure things and asking questions based on the 8-point font footnotes in the books. These are just, if you do a decent job of doing the readings, paying attention, maybe taking a handful of notes as you read, you should be fine on these. So once you open them, the timer will start, and you'll answer the questions. You can attempt these quizzes twice. Just be aware that the software will average your 2 grades together, and that will be the final grade that goes into your Blackboard gradebook. Once you take the quiz, I think I have it set up that it will show you which questions you got wrong. It won't tell you what the answers are, but you can, if you want to take the quiz a second time, you can go back with that information and hopefully, almost assuredly, get a higher score. Now, of course, if you take it the first time and you ace it, the software tells you, yeah, you got 10 out of 10 right or 20 out of 20 right. There's no need to take it a second time. So yeah, this is the textbook that I've ordered for this class. I think is a really good one. And in my lectures, what I try to do is to take the subject matter from the textbook and push it a little bit, introduce things that aren't there, so that the lectures don't just simply become me, simplifying or breaking down what I'm already expecting you to read. That strikes me as kind of a pointless exercise. So the lectures that I have are meant to complement the readings and are meant to kind of, reiterate kind of core aspects of these religions, but also to look at examples and view things, talk about things that can take the subject matter to a more detailed level. So I talked about the midterm and the final exam. These will be like a take home. You'll have a week to kind of do either of them. And I'll usually give you a choice of essays. I'll give you 3 and ask you to write on 2, or give you 4 and ask you to write on 3. More details about that as we get along. Same thing with the course paper. Best way to get in communication with me is via my GRCC email account, or if you want to stop by, I highly encourage you to do so because I would love to meet you. You'll also find the course schedule, kind of shows you what we're going through and in the order in which we're going through. I'm basically following the subject titles that we find in the chapters of our main textbook. I have a video in the week 1 folder that goes through this in a little bit more detail, so I'm not going to harp on it now. And then the kind of the boilerplate things at the end of the syllabus, college policies, various numbers, also just words to the effect that things happen. And if certain things aren't available that I want you to be able to do, or if things fall through, I reserve the right to kind of change the syllabus. But I will do my absolute best to inform you of these changes in plenty of time. So I know that was kind of a quick walkthrough. You can pull up the syllabus and have a look at it on your own and look at it at your leisure. But other than that, I will turn you loose into the week 1 folder. Get started. Let me know if you have questions, especially with the quizzes. Sometimes software fails, or it'll kind of kick you out of a quiz maybe, or it'll just kind of send a 0 to your grade book. Let me know. It's really easy for me to go in and reset attempts and all that kind of stuff. Just do it in a timely fashion, so both you and I don't get too far behind. All right, that's all for this one. I'll see you in the week 1 folder.